What's going on, everyone? It's Friday, and it's getting close to the end of the day for us. Do a little quick video, and we've actually had some, I guess you'd say, some pretty good drama today. Our Chambers Delimitator, the bottom drum in it, we've had it patched for a long time now. We'll spin around here and watch just this loader work while the other one gets his diesel, or greases, I mean. You can see the chamber sitting there. We've had it patched for, well, basically ever since I've had it. We've had it for a year now. The bottom drum in it, the little cones, it's got like some little cones on either side of on either end of the drum that sandwiches the drum to the shaft that runs through the center of it. And the cones, the bolts broke out on the end down here where you feed your wood into it. Sometimes it's a common thing. It's more common with today's models than they were with the older models with the older drums and stuff in it. We seem to have more issues out of the new ones than the old ones. But they're still good machines. But what happened was the cones broke out, the bolts broke out of the cones in the bottom. And instead of removing the whole drum, because the inside ones were kind of messed up too, the drum is very expensive. I don't know price, but I know it's just very, very expensive. We opted to take the drum, slide it back far ahead as we could get it on the shaft towards the front, and weld it in place. And we've actually had to weld it now 3 times. I think we may accidentally be able to weld this one back up. This one, I mean, it's a very strong possibility that we can weld this one back up again. But we've got a new drum ordered. We ordered a new drum a while ago, so y'all are going to get to see some really good video, hopefully some really good video of the drum being put in and taken out and everything like that, because Dad will do all of that work himself. It'll take him about a half a day to do it. But anyway, the loader you're watching right now, he got down to put his chain come off of his topping saw, and he got down to go put it back on this morning, or a while ago, and when he got down to out there where his CTR, his pull-through, whatever you want to call him, his pull-through, when he got out there, he saw smoke inside the delimitator box like it was on fire. And it was, because the drum broke loose on the shaft. The drum slid back into the back wall, and it was catching the trash on the inside of the machine. It was catching it on fire. So they had to do a little bit of firefighting. I was nowhere around to get some video of that, but they got it out. We'll see about welding it back up. We're going to get it out of the set and get it over here somewhere. This really isn't the best place to be trying to do big jobs like that. There's really nowhere to get. Our next spot I'm going to will have plenty of area to do stuff like that. The loader's back going. We'll spin around here, get both of them in the frame for y'all. So even though I didn't really want to be running my old loader as hard as it's having to be ran right now, it's having to do it. We're actually doing almost as much. We're basically matching our production with the second loader running. Some people will argue me over it. The second loader burns more diesel a day than that delimitator burns in 3 days. So it's really not as efficient to be set up stroking with 2 loaders. That's one of the things why we have the delimitator. Anyway, And we're gonna let y'all watch loaders work for a little bit. Thinking about going and getting the drone, breaking it out, trying to get some aerial shots with it. I haven't flown it in a while. Got rain on the way again. I'm not sure if we're gonna work Saturday or not because of the rain. So just one of those wait and see games. So I'm set up on my new camera rig with this. Right now y'all are set up on a tripod with my phone connected to it. It has a 96 LED light mounted to it, and it also, I'm using a Boya mic. I have the Boya MM1 I believe is what it is. Lavalier mic. It is wired. I'm probably gonna look. I like this little mic. It sounds good. The audio's loud and pretty clear. I'm about 5 feet from my phone right now, and y'all should be able to hear me really well. I'm not having to yell or anything like that. So the audio should be a lot better from now on. I also have a Boya shotgun mic. I forget the numbers on it, but it's the M1 something, you know. I didn't do any videos of unboxing it or anything like that. The video I done when I unboxed the drone just did not get any views at all. It's crazy the views the logging content gets. The racing content, I mean, it gets some views, but it's literally like 2/3 less than what the logging content gets. So I don't really try and do any, you know, if I get new equipment, stuff like that, I don't really do a bunch of unboxing videos, stuff like that. It's kind of windy outside today too. I'm not sure how well, it has a windscreen on it, on the lavalier mic that I'm speaking on now, and I'm not sure if that is letting much wind come through. The Boya shotgun mic that I have that is mounted to the camera rig, it has a dead cat on it, so it should be pretty quiet. I'm also filming with a third-party app. I'm not filming with the app that, you know, your standard videoing app. So it is getting much better video. I can choose a little bit better where to focus and stuff like that. So for sure, the stabilized video should be really nice for y'all to watch. I actually found my GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition, and then I've got my GoPro regular 2014 Hero. It'll only shoot in wide mode, but my Hero 3 Black will shoot, you know, in narrow, medium, or wide mode. I just have some scratches when I found it. It's been lost for forever, but it's got some scratches on the lens, and I'm going to have to try and see if I can polish those out. I think I can. I've watched enough videos on YouTube to see that maybe I can polish those out. If so, we'll start trying to use, because it will shoot 4K video as well. I'm shooting this in 4K right now. I like shooting in 60 frames a second. I can slow the video down, make, you know, slow motion looks pretty good. The slow motion video I shot the other day, I shot it in 240 frames a second. And it turned out really well. So, see the 748 coming in. I still have a little bit more to cut here, but I'm kind of gun shy on cutting anything else today, because I already have more on the ground than my skidder is going to get. And if the rain gets here that they're saying is coming, yeah, you won't get this wood up Monday morning. If it's raining in the morning, we're not going to be able to work here. So you watch the 748 bring this drag in. When we set these loaders up, we purposely set them up where they're kind of far from each other, to where the skidder has plenty of room to come in. I'm not sure if you can see on video or not, but behind the 234, the old loader over here, the old 234, the ground started giving in as we was bringing it in. Normally when we bring that loader out, I have a video of it. If I remember, I will try to link it at the end of this video. But we normally put the mats down, the wooden pallets. We lay 2 at a time down. One to a loader to set on, and then one we drag and put in front of it, and we just kind of keep leapfrogging those mats under the loader until he gets out there far enough where he needs to be. He really needs to be another 20 feet out into the set, and that will allow the skidder, which he could still come around behind him there like that, because my trucks are setting off of the road here. But the skidder would be able to loop around behind the loader that's out in the set, and that would keep him from, as you saw, it kind of scattered that little bit of processed wood there. Watch the 748 out there. He's grabbing up a bunch of that trash and toting it down there to the bottom of the hill. Mainly he's trying to fix some places that may be looking like it could be wet if we are able to work in the morning. Also what we do with the trash, a clear cut job, they pretty well pile it up. In my area, what videos I've watched of Tim O'Brien and Cotton Top 3, seems like they kind of scatter theirs out as well into the cut, especially on the sides of the hills and then where they've been skidding at. I will do the same thing in my accesses, but when we get done, we have to push these sets out to the dirt, so we try to keep as much of this stuff toted off as we're working. And there's a bunch of trash comes out of this stuff. A bunch of trash comes out of this stuff. This timber is 11 years old. I keep getting some comments on the brush and the size and stuff like that. This timber is only 11 years old. It's averaging about, by the time we process it, put it on a trailer, it's averaging about 30 feet long. It's taken about 8 to 9 stems on an average to make a ton, and we're loading 31 tons to a truck. But anyway, back to the trash deal there. We have to keep it toted off. We can't just leave it in a big pile, because approximately 7 years from now, somebody's going to come back in here and re-thin this before it stands another 10 years and is clear cut somewhere around the age of 28. So we will take that trash as we're working, take it down there and scatter it out in the down rows. Explain down row to some people, as I keep getting some questions about that. These rows are planted, and they try to plant them in straight lines, just like a cornfield, but they're planted on average. Today they're planted 10 feet wide and 7 feet long. The trees are planted apart from one another. So when we'll take one row of timber out and clear it out, and then we'll leave 4 rows and then take the 5th row. So what they call a 5th row thinning. So we will leave 4 rows standing in the middle. We'll work the 2 outside rows, or we'll work 2 rows to the left. With the track cutter, I work 2 rows of thinning, 2 tree rows going in, and then 2 tree rows coming back out. It's a pretty simple process. But where we cut the strip of timber out, we take the trash back down there and scatter it out as best we can in piles no deeper than 18 inches deep. That way it decomposes very well. Doesn't tend to hold much moisture that way. As it rots, it's just like a compost bed. It adds nutrients and nitrate and everything else that it goes back into the ground as it rots. It's kind of like free fertilizer for the timber company. A few little points that I've mentioned at the beginning of the channel, but we've grown substantially since then. We are based out of Southwest Louisiana. We have been in business. Dad has been in business since 1999 in the logging. He's been in a self-owner, self-employed position all the way up through the early 90s. Clear of flat heading with chainsaws back in the day, having the cutting contracts for logging contractors that had the equipment and stuff. Whenever they went to more mechanized logging in our area, he got into trucking. He's been in trucking since 1996. Started our own logging job in 1999, December of 1999. So this December we'll be in business for 20 years. This is our second job of 2. We have 2 jobs, two logging crews. Our other crew has exactly the same amount of equipment as this job has. They have 2 loaders. Actually, I'm wrong. They have 3 loaders. He just purchased another brand new 234B for that job, to replace an old 234 like the one you see here in front of you to the right. He that 234 on that job over there, I think, has 22,000 hours on it. All original still. Original pumps, motor, everything's all original on it. They also have another 234B on that job, and they have a brand new 234B on that job. He has an 848L, a 748L skidder on that job. He has a 718E. I think it is a 2018 model, I think. No, 2017. It is a 2017 model, 718E. And they have an 822D Tigercat track cutter. I'm gonna try and get some video of them one day working when maybe we may be rained out, or they may be kind of close by over here, something like that, or we're just not working a Saturday and they are working. I plan to get y'all some video of that job. But they have 2 full-time cutter operators, 2 full-time skidder operators, 2 full-time loader operators, a chambers delimitator that is mounted on a trailer. It has a double axle. It is a tandem axle trailer that their delimitator is set up on. I'm not sure, but at the time that we purchased it, it was the only one built that way. It was a custom build. I think it was a prototype at the time. I don't know if y'all can see that on camera or not, but that 748 right there has a drag and a half behind it. We figured it up the other day. That machine will drag about 8 tons of wood to the set at one time. And that's their medium-sized machine with the 848 grapple on it. That's got a 19-foot grapple on it. That machine will pull some wood is what it will do. It doesn't pull as much as the bogey skidders. We used to have a 625 and a 635. But they pull almost as much wood as the 625 and 635 that we had, and for a fraction of the cost. That machine that you're looking at, the 748 there, it has almost 6,000 hours on it. I think it's almost 4 years old. It is a steady machine. It does not break. We do not hardly ever have breakdowns with it. We hardly change lines on it unless an operator rips one off in the knuckle part back there on the boom. But back to Dad's other job, he is a much larger operation. They move 100 loads a week consecutively in this type of timber that we're in right here. Right now I have 4 men. I have a 5th man hired. He'll be starting Monday. He's actually some more family of mine. The guy running the 748, he is, so I guess you'd say married in kin. The guy on the loader, we're distant cousins. The guy on the loader to your left, we're also distant cousins. Most everybody that works for us is family in some sense. That was part of the reason I got into this, is my family was so deeply involved in it. This is how we got to spend a lot of time together. I have a lot of good memories working in the woods with especially my grandpa. And most especially my uncle. Now that I have these new microphones, I plan on getting to sit down with my uncle and speak with him and let him speak with, just tell stories about days gone past. Y'all, that man's been doing logging since they had crosscut saws, double bit axes, and they were skidding them out of the woods with mules. And we have come to what we have today. He is 76, 77 years old. Drove a truck all his life. Had his own little job at one point in time. But that's why I really got into this. Logging is how I got to spend time with my family. A lot of time with my family. We get to spend time with our family, but I got to work hand in hand with several uncles. I still get to work with a couple of uncles today and my dad. Not many people get to say that. Me and my dad fight like cats and dogs sometimes because our opinions differentiate so vastly, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that I've got to spend all the time I have with him. But anyway, Dad's job is a much bigger job. He moves lots of wood a week. He has a dedicated 7-man crew. One man's out there just trimming trucks. They run. I mean, he actually got to do a pulpwood clear cut here a few months ago, because he works directly for the one paper mill here in DeRidder. And they were de-limbing with 2 loaders, 2 skidders, and 2 cutters. They were cut, skidding, de-limbing, and loading 140 loads a week in this clear cut. Granted, that's all pulpwood, and that makes a big difference. But y'all sit there and think about, that's 70 loads and stuff that you're seeing right there. It wasn't much better than that. What that loader's picking up right there. That's 70 loads a week of straight de-limb. That was no deliminator. They stroked every bit of that wood with a pull through. And for a lot of that over there, the loader, I mean the 822 was broke. So the little 718E cut most of all that wood over there a week. Very impressive. Anyway, looks like we're up to, we just rolled over the 27-minute mark. As y'all can tell, I get sidetracked real easy with my speaking. I'll get involved in one story and I'll go to another story real quick. That's just my personality. I'm sure that annoys the holy fire out of some of y'all, but that's just how I talk. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed watching this, listening to me ramble on here. Gonna round this baby up. Go see what we can't find. It should be getting close to about 4 o'clock. Should be about time to start getting some fuel in these things to go to the house. I gotta go put a sprocket on our pole saw. I'll video doing that. Get another video out of today. But anyway, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like us. Like the videos, click the bell where you get notified whenever we post a video. I try to post a video every day at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I hope y'all like the quality increase that I've tried to do here. Hopefully the audio is good on this. I forgot to do an audio check by the time I thought about it. We've done too far in to stop and check. If it's right, it's right. If not, it's wrong. And I've stood here for 30 minutes just talking to nobody for nothing. So anyway, y'all have a good one, and we will catch y'all later.